Hi, I'm Stefan, the BMW DIY guy. My project today is going to be on my BMW K1600 GTL here behind me. And you know, if you ride, one of the most important things is being seen and heard while you're out on the road. I love this bike, but the one thing I didn't love was the horn. It wasn't very loud and sounded kind of like you'd maybe run over a Canadian goose. So I found out that there's a plug-and-play answer directly from BMW. You can take a horn straight out of a BMW 5 Series and put it directly plug and play into this bike. Works perfectly, sounds different, sounds like a car horn, and is significantly louder. Now, as always, please make sure to click subscribe and the little alarm bell. Any part numbers or any tools that you're going to need are listed in the description below, so let's make sure to check that out. All right, let's dig in the little bike, let's get it done, and you can make this change too. All right, so let's take a look at this. So we're going to take the left panel off. So as you look at this, there's a number of pieces that we're going to have to get off to be able to get this surface panel off. So the first one is, and I'm going to go through this series of screws, and I'll show you how all the pieces come off, but I want to show you what we're going to take off first. So this lower piece is going to need to come out. These are all T20s. There's one here, there's one here, and this piece will come off. You want to take this one, pull the little wing out. You can see this one will come around, and there's one tucked back right here. Okay, so now there's more down below as well that we're going to have to get into, because we're also going to pull this lower piece as well, because there's a couple of screws that hold the bottom of this panel on, and you can only get to them by pulling that far piece and the lower piece off as well. So we're going to walk through. You can see one screw there, there's another one here. We're going to walk through all of this. But let me take the small one off first, and then this top row off, and then I'll show you the lower section. Okay, so as you can see, that back piece is off now, which is great. The top trim is a little bit loose because these screws are out, but it's all still secured from underneath. So sadly, we do have to get this lower piece off. Now, they're a little hard to show without getting underneath the bike, but if you look down in there, and you can kind of see where that piece comes across. There's another T20 Torx there. I kept wanting to say 20 millimeter. There's a T20 Torx there, and then there's another one a little bit further back right here. So you pull that one and that one, and then there's two up here in the wheel well as well. So you just turn your wheel so you can get to them. So you can see one right here. There's one up a little bit higher right here. Once those are all out, this lower piece will come off. Then you can get to the T20, because there's going to be another T20 holding here and here on this lower piece. When you take this off, be very, very careful, because there's a pin. There's a plastic pin that helps hold this up in place as well, and it all slides down and away. So really simple. So I'm going to pull those four. I'll show you the screw here. Then we'll pull this upper piece off. Okay, so with the lower section off, you can see two more T20 Torx screws. One right here that I've already taken out. One right here that I've already taken out. And the last screw that keeps all of this in place is right up in here. So it's a little hard to see, but you can actually, it's right here. It's right there. So you're going to want to take that out. That's the last piece holding this in. And in my case, it's the only screw holding this panel on, because I wanted to show you what it looks like. So take that off, pull the panel off, set it aside safely. All right, you're also just sitting on the ground because it's a lot easier to be able to see. So kind of for orientation, right? So here's the headlight, the side wing piece, right? And here's your horn. So as you can see, radically different in size. Very, very, very small. Now, there's a nut right on top that attaches it to the bracket. Now, it is a 13 millimeter nut, and a 13 millimeter wrench like this that can fold over is really nice. This is a ratcheting wrench, so I can fold it over and then turn the whole wrench to get on top of that nut. Because all you're going to do is just loosen the nut right here. The nut's going to come off, and I've already loosened it a little bit as I confirm the size of it, and then just unplug it and plug the new one in place and put that 13 millimeter nut on top of the new horn. It really is that simple. So let me get the horn off so I can at least just show you the plug. It's just going to be another one of those just kind of squeeze and pull plugs, but I'll show that to you so you can see what it looks like. All right, so as you can see, I just have the horn hanging down, so it's just going to be a matter of just depressing the plug right here and then pulling the horn off. So I'm going to use both hands. But it's going to be that simple. And then just plug in the new horn in. Now, when I bought the new horn, it came with a little metal bracket on it. I'm not going to need it. You're just going to need the post, and you're going to put it right back up in the same place. And then we're going to walk through just putting everything back on just like it was. Okay, so it's plugged in. I wanted to show you what it looks like. It's all plugged in and hung it into place. I just used that same 13mm wrench. And it's easy. You just push the post of the horn up through the little bracket, put the washer on, and tighten the nut down. So now what this horn has that the previous one didn't, the other one just kind of had this, it all came out the bottom. The sound came straight out the bottom. And this one, it actually has kind of this bell on it to help it, you know, project the sound. So looking at the orientation, I figured orienting out was the best. Now granted, you're gonna have the plastic fairing here, so it's gonna be straight into the fairing. But really kind of no matter which way you place it, unless you turned it completely to kind of come out the wheel well right here, sort of. But all in all, I think it's going to be a good position for it. Now, the other thing I'm going to do, so I've turned the ignition on to test it to make sure that it works. And I suggest that you do. I have a feeling that when I actually, you know, set this video, I'm going to cut the volume on this because it's really loud. So I'm gonna hit the horn, so just so you can hear what it sounds like, so it's different. But don't be surprised if it's relatively quiet, because yeah, it's really loud. That here in my garage without the fairing on is just deafening. It sounds like a car now. It's much, much louder. It really fits exactly what I want to do. So forgive any background noise. It's kind of a noisy day here in my neighborhood. Okay, so now that the horn is done, it's really pretty much good to go, and all you have to do is just put it right back together. So just remember the order that you took it apart. So the side fairing is going to go on first. You get that screw that's right here that you can see now where it goes in. You get the two side screws. You put the top screws into place. You're going to put that bottom fairing on, the screws down the wheel well, the two across the bottom, and then that rear piece right here that goes around your little compartment. And again, those are all T20s, really super simple. I'm going to put them right back on. It's the reverse order that you took them off. I'm going to put them right back on, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. All right, all done and back together. As you can see, this really is not a hard project at all. You just take out, you know, half a dozen or a dozen T20 Torx bolts and one 13mm nut, and you're pretty much good to go. You can tell the difference is going to be tremendous. And when it really comes down to it, you want to be heard, right, on your bike. And what a great way to use a plug-and-play BMW component that goes straight into place, fits perfectly, and it's going to make a big difference. So I hope this helped you out quite a bit. Thank you so much for watching my video. Everything you need is listed in the description below, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video.